Death can occur in the most ordinary of places. In 1997, a husband's life ended here. His blood flowed down the gutter into the street.
He was just a good guy. He didn't deserve this kind of treatment from anyone. I still find it appalling to think about.
The first shot caused a tremendous amount of pain and panic. He managed to get out of the car. What was going on in his mind? I've got to run away. He may not even have suspected that the shooter was following him. He places the gun square against the back of the skull and pulls the trigger. This would have been the coup de grace.
What is it exactly that you do?
I'm a software engineer.
Software engineer, oh. Who's having the salad?
I am.
It's a nervous first date for computer programmer Bruce Cleland.
And the lobster marinade for you. Thank you. Oh, wow.
It looks good.
It sure does.
Okay.
This is a meal.
I think some people would call him maybe just a nerdy computer geek.
Yeah. I'm a software engineer.
Right, yeah.
I'm working.
He didn't have much in the way of personal contact with women. Didn't date when he was in high school and even in college. So he had almost no contact with women before he met Rebecca.
Really, it's a big project. Oh, God. Oh. I'm sorry, did I wet you? No.
Bruce's date, Rebecca Salcedo, is his polar opposite.
Bruce is a timid, shy man, but Rebecca was fun, sexy, outrageous, generous, exciting, a terrific person to know. She just attracted men like magnets.
Rebecca finds Bruce just as attractive, for a very different reason.
Anyway.
Bruce is the kind of men women like Rebecca look for. He didn't stand a chance.
Bertha Awana used to be Rebecca Salcedo's best friend. She remembers the night she discovered exactly why Rebecca was interested in Bruce.
Thank you. Cheers, girlfriend.
She wanted me to meet the man that she was going to marry. I said, well, where is he? And she's like, oh, no, he's not here. I just want you to meet him through this. So she handed over a paper. And I said, what is this? And she says, this is his credit report. Look at it. And I saw like he had all these high credit limits and all these credit cards.
Oh my God. His wallet is packed with credit cards.
And I just laughed because she was silly that way. So I just took it like, okay, whatever. You know, it's another one of her silly games.
Trading love for money is a game Rebecca's been playing since she was a teenager.
When she was 15, she married a man so she can get him his green card. He was gonna pay a lump sum of money. And I was not comfortable with that at all. I just thought it was the wrong thing to do. And that's when I began to see that she was very interested in money.
Coming from a poor family of Mexican immigrants, Rebecca has a dream. A dream of being rich. And she'll use her best assets to get there.
She would like to wear very low-cut dresses and expose herself whenever she had the opportunity. And she used that to her own advantage in her relationships with men.
When she went to a bar, I don't think she ever bought a drink in her life. She would go to a bar and she would always, all night long, have somebody buying the drinks for her.
Rebecca's latest catch will be picking up a lot more than the bar tab. Her plan is to take him for everything he's got.
Marry me.
And Bruce just walked right into her trap.
I love it.
And he fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
But this whirlwind romance won't have a fairy tale ending.
It just shocked me that she would be capable of such a horrible thing.
You need a top-up, girlfriend.
A bachelorette party for Rebecca Salcedo.
She was very outgoing. She had a kind of a bubbly personality. People liked her. She was always the life of the party.
Despite being engaged, Rebecca likes her lovers tall, dark, and often.
She had numerous affairs with various men, including her own cousin, Alvaro, who was a male stripper.
The only man Rebecca's not sleeping with is her husband-to-be.
Rebecca had told Bruce that she didn't date much, that she had only been with one man, and that she could not have any relationships with a man until she was married.
I'm not like that. I'm a good girl.
I remember laughing about it, because she would tell me and I would laugh like, you gotta be kidding.
Truth of the matter was, Rebecca wasn't attracted to Bruce and didn't want to sleep with him, ever.
Crime writer Don Lasseter says Rebecca wasn't in love with Bruce. She was in love with his money.
He began buying her gifts. He bought her a spa for her backyard. He bought a boat with a trailer. Eventually, he even bought her a new SUV, and finally, a beautiful, expensive hilltop home in Whittier, California.
He also paid for her breast augmentation, nose job. She also had her lips done. Rebecca could just get you to do anything. She knew how to charm you.
Rebecca's teenage dreams of riches are coming true. Just weeks after her marriage to Bruce, she takes the final step in her plan.
Bye.
Kicking him out and filing for divorce.
Rebecca wanted a divorce so she could take half of everything Bruce owned.
You said I was gonna get half of everything.
But she found out she would earn nothing from that.
And how much is that?
She was only going to get half of anything that was earned during that period of time that they were actually living together, which was maybe about 2 months.
$5,000? Are you kidding me? What are we paying you for? Ah.
Prosecutor Ron Bowers believes this is where Rebecca's scheme went from devious to diabolical.
Rebecca, who had had her sights on having a beautiful home, having the new car, having all of the furniture, she was going to lose that all. She was not going to get that in a divorce settlement.
Rebecca refuses to give up on her dream and embarks on a deadly plan B.
In killing Bruce, she would get the life insurance as well as she would get his estate.
It is pitched as a night of reconciliation.
Poor Bruce thinks that she cares and wants to get back together, put the marriage back together.
Listen, we're gonna be there just after 1 o'clock. Don't be late.
The entire time,
And make sure
she's
you wait until I
making
reach the
cell
airport
phone
first
calls
before you come.
behind his back.
Okay, I gotta go. He's coming.
And of course, in Bruce's mind, I think, well, maybe we're going to patch things up.
Hi, sweetheart.
Maybe things are going to work out.
After a romantic dinner, where Bruce is plied with alcohol. Rebecca pulls off the freeway.
She claims that she suddenly notices that there's a red light on the dashboard telling her the back hatch of the SUV is open. Oh, honey, I'll just stop and get out and shut it. And suddenly a man lunges out of the brush and begins shooting at Bruce.
The first shot shatters Bruce's jaw.
The killer follows and continues shooting. The gunman steps up and delivers a deadly shot to the back of Bruce's head. And then runs away. Rebecca is lying behind the SUV as if she had been attacked as well. Her shoes were off in perfect alignment as if they'd been placed in a closet. Police arrived quite quickly, and as soon as they arrived, she got up and said, oh, the carjackers hit me on the head. The police examined her head. No injuries at all. She shows no concern for her poor husband lying across the street with blood flowing down the gutter.
Of much greater concern to Rebecca,
she claimed, oh my, they stole my beautiful ring, they took my ring.
her prized possession appears to be gone.
I think Rebecca actually thought she was going to pull this off, that she could plan his murder and get away with it. Everything she did was in furtherance of her own greed.
Rebecca's greed will also be her downfall. Wedding photographer Beth Lamb visits Rebecca just days after Bruce's death.
She talked as if she couldn't live without her husband, you know, the love of her life, and she didn't know how she was going to go on.
But Rebecca's sob story is unraveling.
I noticed that she had that huge engagement ring on. And then when I discovered that she was claiming it was stolen, I knew it wasn't. I saw it on her hand. So I was able to let the police know. They were able to get a search warrant and they found it.
Police also find forged life insurance policies. Rebecca stood to gain $1 million from her husband's death. She was also entitled to his entire estate.
Pure evil to marry someone and kill them for their money. You know, that someone could really be that calculating and evil.
Cell phone records reveal the identity of the assassins. Rebecca's cousin Jose and his brother, the stripper, Alvaro.
She really manipulated the two of them to do the dirty work that she wasn't capable of doing herself.
Sentenced to life in prison, Rebecca's dreams of riches lie shattered. Her lifelong friendships destroyed.
I never thought I would personally know someone that would be able to commit such a heinous crime. It still haunts me. Sometimes I dream about her and I just want to forget about her. It's just something that I want to erase out of my life.
It was a dinner invitation they couldn't refuse.
I'd like to make a toast to thank you all for being here this wonderful occasion.
A new Singh has enticed her fellow law students with a spine-chilling promise.
Be fantastic. I will be a new person.
She told a whole bunch of people,
So much better.
I'm going to commit suicide. Come to my place and we'll have a farewell dinner.
I just feel so good about this.
One person doesn't know of her sinister plan. Her fiancé, Joe.
somewhere in that process, she said to herself, well, if I'm going to die, Joe should die with me.
Okay, just nobody say anything when he comes back. It's fine.
It is beyond my comprehension that those at the party that knew what this was all about didn't speak up and stop it.
In Canberra, Australia, 2 university students prepare for a night out.
Great. Oh, hey, you see my one?
Joe Cinque is smitten with his pretty fiancée, Anu Singh.
I'm fat, look at me.
No, you're beautiful, baby. You look amazing.
But Anu's obsession is herself.
She's also impulsive, immature, rather manipulative, and extremely narcissistic. She really had to be the center of attention.
Need a little bit of help. Hello?
Sure. What do I do?
No, do it up.
I'm trying. Just give me 1
Oh,
second.
come on. This is not gonna work.
Yeah, maybe you should try that ipecac stuff, you know? Like,
Do you think it would work?
I don't think you need it, but I mean, if you want to, you can take it. I don't know.
When Joe mentions Ipecac, an idea takes hold in Anu's mind. Syrup of Ipecac is a medicine that induces vomiting. Anu starts to abuse it daily and soon wastes away to just 88 pounds.
Anu seemed to have a pretty normal life until her mid to late teen years, when her mental illnesses started manifesting. The first one was an eating disorder.
The second one is a dangerous delusion.
Once she started taking the Ipecac, she developed this delusion that she was dying. And when I say delusion, I don't just mean a kind of funny idea that all of us have in our heads. This was a psychotic belief which she could not be talked out of.
Clinical psychologist Ken Byrne says Anu sought help, but refuses to believe her doctors.
She was convinced that there was nothing that could be done to help her, that she was going to slowly, gradually waste away. She then became more and more suicidal and made plans to commit suicide. She took a series of carefully thought out steps. She researched suicide at the library. She tried to obtain a handgun.
That looks good.
Then she settles on heroin.
Do you still know that guy that goes to uni? Yeah.
Incredibly, no one questions her disturbing plan.
One of the astonishing things about this case is that a whole series of students at the law school had heard her talk about actively planning suicide. And to my knowledge, none of them put their hand up to someone and said, you know, you better go talk to this girl.
She'd be what people would call the drama queen. Things needed to centre on Anu.
Anu's defense lawyer, Jack Pappas, found her to be extremely self-absorbed.
Her acting out and her scheming was never about death. It was about the whole drama of her being at the centre of attention.
My best friend and we're over there. We're having a dinner party tonight. You guys are invited.
Anu decides to host a dinner party with her own death as the main attraction.
I'd like
As bizarre as it seems that most people at the party knew that it was meant to be a send-off party for Anu Singh.
I know you all know that I have been sick for quite some time. But I know...
And they seemed to take the view that, well, if someone wants to commit suicide, that's their business, not ours.
We all know that I met Joe through a wonderful friend.
But Anu won't die alone.
And I just love him to pieces.
She wants to take Joe with her, whether he likes it or not.
All right, man, look what you do. This is the heroin. This is what you're gonna put inside you, all right?
Yep.
Anu Singh is a law student,
Light it up.
And how much goes in the spoon?
As much as you want.
taking lessons in death. She has decided to kill herself.
She tracks down a chap at the law school. He supplies her with heroin.
And put this around your hand, all right?
Sure.
Put this up here, yeah? Put that in your mouth and pull it real tight. Now we're gonna find a vein.
She's got someone who sold heroin to teach her how to inject it.
You have absolutely nothing to do. All right, we find
So there's
a
no
vein.
question this was a clearly planned out effort.
All right, how much do you want?
Enough for 2 over.
She suffered from clinical depression.
Give these two.
She suffered from psychosis.
Yeah.
She did not even know what was real and what was not.
Is that enough?
Anu has a strong delusion. She thinks she's dying from using syrup of ipecac. It's a medicine her boyfriend suggested might help her lose weight.
An important part of Miss Singh's character is that she's very childlike and narcissistic. And so that in her view of the world, when something goes wrong, it must be someone's fault, and that it was his fault.
Now she blames Joe for her imagined illness. She wants to kill herself and take him with her.
The idea was that she would have a dinner party effectively as her send-off because she was going to commit suicide. It was like a Last Supper.
Anu plans to heavily sedate Joe with Rohypnol.
Rohypnol is a date rape drug. It causes very rapid loss of consciousness and causes somebody to fall asleep. It also tends to decrease a person's memory of any of the events that occurs to them.
Once her dinner guests leave, Anu begins stage 2 of her scheme. Joe Chinque is now at the mercy of the woman he loves.
She used enough heroin to kill 2 horses. It was a massive, massive dose of heroin.
Come on, darling, it'll be all right. I promise this won't hurt.
Heroin is a central nervous system depressant. As the person's respirations become depressed, less blood is flowing to the body, less oxygen to the brain, and the person begins to suffer from brain damage.
It won't be the peaceful departure Anu hopes for.
Fluid builds up in the lungs. It causes the accumulation of frothy fluid in the airways, which can then exude out the mouth and nose.
The nature of the murder might have started out as some kind of a romantic fantasy of leaving the world together and being forever together. But That fantasy was long since gone.
Joe! Oh, wake up, Joe! Oh!
In a panic, Anu calls emergency.
Where are you?
It's 79. No, wait, it's 30.
But repeatedly gives the wrong information.
So this is this, self-involvement, wanting to protect herself, poor judgment, erratic thinking.
There's vomit everywhere and blood stuff. Is that a bad sign?
Joe could have been saved had he gotten rapid medical attention.
But Joe Chinkwe is dead. And Anu has not kept her part of the deal. She doesn't try to join him.
She had every opportunity to kill herself at the end if she'd been serious about it. And yet she never even attempted, so far as anyone could ever discover, to inject herself at that time.
Anu Singh is charged with murder.
The prosecution were of the view that she was a highly intelligent girl, and she was, who had determined that she could get away with murder and was smart enough to feign mental illness.
But her defense proves Anu is mentally ill at the time of the murder.
Anu was compelled to carry out a fantasy that involved death.
She had a psychological condition that made her less responsible for her actions than you or I.
Found guilty of manslaughter, Anu is sentenced to 10 years in prison. She serves a total of 4 and now lives in Sydney, Australia.
And maybe if one person had gone to someone in authority, maybe this boy would still be alive.